Hello, my name is Velikov. I'm from Bulgaria. Uh, Around 20 years, I'm implementing different methodologies like lean, theory of constraints, and TRIZ. I can say that in the beginning, when I started my career in this area, I learned a lot about lean and so on. And when I started my first project, I realized that it is not enough and I need something else. And one of my friends gave me a book about a RIZ, algorithm of TRIZ. The book was in Bulgarian, was published in 1974. I read it and I said, this is what I miss. And I started to read it and to implement TRIZ step by step. The results was very good. Then I will tell you. This project is 4 years later. It was done in factory Festo in Bulgaria, in Sofia. The factory is around 1,000 workers, still working. And the line manager with whom we did this project now is a general manager of Festo. I'm not sure, maybe about our project, maybe not. So I'm starting to present the situation. How to remove this line? Okay, we have production of cables, but the biggest issue was that the cutting machines has to do different sizes of cables. For example, 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters, 50 centimeters, 1 meter, 20 meters, different sizes. They were doing orders for Istanbul airport, and the symptoms from the customers were that there is a lot of hidden capacity. They said that engineers from Germany calculated the capacity, and they said that they have around 5 to 10% more. They were coming to the factory, doing some projects, but no results. The line was slow. And the second symptoms which they claimed was that their orders are late and the customers is angry. The third was that the CEO wants more productivity from this line. He said that 5 to 7% will be pretty enough. When I did the analysis, so let me explain the line. First, we have two sublines. The process is first we have cutting machine. So they put a cable and the machine automatically is cutting it in the sizes which you want. 5, 10, 50 centimeter, how much you want. This is a very fast machine. After that, they have this whip. This is work in progress. So a lot of cutted pieces of cables which waiting for the next operation. The next operation is stripping. So the operator has to take the cable and to open it and one by one to clean the isolation. So they have to be ready, the metal pieces, for soldering. After that, third operation is soldering. And the last operation is to put the cable in injection molding machine. At first sight, this looks simple and easy to solve but actually the situation was not so simple. So from the analysis, my first symptom was that they have a lot of WIP, a lot of work in progress, which according to law of Little is not good and is could be a reason for late orders. Second symptoms was that they are doing internal rescheduling. What do I mean? Between station 1 and 2, you can imagine there's a small pyramid of cables put it in plastic cases. And in these cases, you have a cable, you have the order, and everything. And the operator is coming, and mostly working women in this operation, and she is watching what orders she have to do, and she's choosing which one to take. So she's not following the order from the master plan. She is taking the cable which she wants. And of course, she's taking the small ones. Nobody wants to work with the big cables because they are heavy. So this rescheduling is also symptoms for me. The third is that one of the managers in the past decided to cut the lines by half. And they put this red line, you see here, the red line. It is virtually. They said, imagine that you have a red line and what you are cutting in machine number 1.1 have to be produced in stripping 1.2, after that soldering 1.3, and in molding machines 1.5 and 1.4. You do not have the possibility to take cables from cutting machine 1 and to go to injection 2.5. Sometimes this fragmentation is good, but in this situation not, because we saw in the analysis that they have injection machines which are not working in idle state. Why? Because let's take model 100, they start to cut it, after that stripping, soldering, put here in the whip to wait, but they don't have two molds and they can use only one machine. This is big waste for us, and started to see what could be the solution. Let me check if there are some questions till now.
Влади, мне подсказывают, что вы можете убрать эту мешающий объект, который у вас на экране, тем, что если вы сделаете расширение на весь экран, возможно, у вас только рабочий стол показывается. Вот это вот в правом углу в линии не совсем, да, вот не совсем здесь, на весь экран. Ну ладно, давайте не будем останавливаться. Пока вопросов... вы уже еще не завершили. Можете продолжить презентацию. Пока вопросов нет.
I don't know how to remove this line.
It's okay. You can continue, please, and no questions by now.
Okay. So the first part, we have the analytical stage. The task was to increase the productivity of one subline. And then if it is successful, to do like a pilot project, to apply this way of working to the second line. And I said that this task has two problems. First, if you start the project with doubt that maybe this is not going to work, the risk to fail is very big. And I gave them I did an analogy with with a sportist. If you say to one runner, you have to do it in 10 seconds, and if he says, okay, I'll try, maybe, your brain will block all the improvements. So we have to start with the thinking, we'll do it. And the second is to do a small scale reduces also our chance to be good. So I changed the task to increase the productivity of the entire line, which is made of two sublines. After that, I create my ideal state and first always imagine the best possible results at the end of the project. Again, this I repeat. After that, you shouldn't worry if you don't achieve the ideal option because it's ideal. And I define it clearly that the materials should move as quickly as possible and the bottlenecks should be loaded at 100%. Be careful not to overload people and machines. This is very important. Only then we can be sure that we can use all the capacity of the machine and the entire line, of course. Another aspect of increasing productivity is to create motivation in people and to create continuous improvement. So, from my experience, whatever good projects you have in operations, you can do labels, you can do color lines, whatever. If the motivation of people is not good, all your projects will be waste of time. That's why I have this topic 4. And here I defined what prevents this result to be achieved. First is the buffer between station 1 and 2, which is very big, and it's stopping the good flow of materials. Second point is that operation of station 2 chooses the orders. This is not good. And as I told you in the beginning, she is doing rescheduling. Third is a political restriction, which cuts the line to tube sublines. And you cannot use a free molding machine. 4, there is no clear definition of a bottleneck. Nobody knows which machine, which station is a bottleneck. And 5, slow change of molds in the injection machines. In the beginning, it was between 4 and 5 hours. So we'll determine the... I defined this again, but to be more clear, there is no planning system and therefore no mechanism for controlling the flow of materials. I'll explain the solution exactly. No method for planning and compiling daily schedules. No data on why such a political restriction was introduced. Nobody told me who and why did this. There is no project to reduce the time for changing tools. And let's go to the solution. Machine 1.1 should stop frequently, not to form such a large buffer. Introduce a system for stopping and starting machine. Here we need solution to reduce this large buffer. In my eyes, such big buffers are like a small warehouse, not buffers. Second, if you have a daily schedule for orders and priorities, we can have our ideal state. Third, there is no political restriction for the sublines. If we remove this restriction, it will be fine. Number 4, if we have initiative to reduce the time for tool change, maybe we can have better time. And we need a motivational process. In Lean, they call it Kaizen. Here, we start to use the principle of TRIZ. First, I took a decision to mark the injection machines like bottlenecks. So I use principle 20 to use the bottleneck 100%. Second, to prevent the bottlenecks from starving, I installed area buffers with controls to start feeding them and stop feeding them. This is principle 23, feedback. You will see the next slide. Third, I use principle 5 for merging. So I merge the two lines. I remove the political constraint. Number 4, I use the principle 19, which is periodic actions, and I start to control the flow of materials, which I said is like impulse feeding with materials. And 5, I use the principle 32, color change. So I put different colors in the different levels of buffer. So let me show you the solution. So first, we create here the buffer. When they start the cutting machine, they start to feed this buffer, which is area buffer. And we marked the area in 3 colors. They start to feed from red to yellow and to green. The important thing was that when the buffer is full, the cutting machine has to stop. This is mechanism for stopping and starting. First was presented by Ford. After that, Ichono speaks about this with controlling with Kanban cards. When it stopped, the operator from cutting machine can't go to help in changing modes for the injection machines if there is a need. After that, we create second area buffer with start and stop mechanism. And the two lines, you see that there is no red line here. So they work together. We have synergy. Both lines started to feed same area. Again, we have area buffer, but one for the both lines. After that, they have a line manager who can do the plan which order to which injection mode machine will go. So they don't care now each order on which line was done. So they just see the orders and decided on which injection machine to load. Of course, here we create again warning level 50%. So when the buffer started to reduce, to be used, and it goes to 50%, there is a problem. There is an alarm, and the line manager is coming to see what is happening. Maybe some problem with machine or operator or defects of cables, different reasons could be. But here we have again feedback. This is this strikes here. They go to the cutting machine and said, you have to stop working or you have to start working. Start working is when you go to the yellow.
10
You start
minutes.
to use, pardon?
10 minutes remains.
Yeah, I'm watching. When you start to use goods from the yellow, there is a signal to the cutting machine, start producing. And we have time to go to area buffer, to stripping, to soldering, and again to start loading the buffer. Of course, the size of the area of all the buffers is control empirically. When they see that it is very big, they can reduce it, and vice versa. When they see that it is small, they can increase it. And the result was that we increased the productivity by 20%. I want to tell you that the first project done by TRIZ, we increased the productivity by 35%. And there I saw that TRIZ is working very good. I'm open for questions.
Vladi, thank you. I appreciate for your input and for sharing us this set of recommendations of specific technical process. I think it would be helpful maybe in your investigation to consider the former publications and research in our former conferences in TRIZ Summit. I think in 2021 we had a specific investigation about the integration between methodologies such as lean manufacturing and TRIZ in terms of technical processes, organization processes, so that you can see how they can also collaborate together, in which stage, in which time, and which roadmap could be helpful to reach the most efficiency. A lot of people worked on that area, so I hope you will be
Okay.
you will be good with this. Okay, thank you very much, and we will switch now to the questions. There are some thanks from Mr. Mikhail Rubin. Vladi, спасибо большое за интересные доклады, красивые решения. Благодарны за то, что вы поделились с нами. Еще вопросы, коллеги, у нас есть время, пожалуйста, задавайте. Скажите, пожалуйста, еще вот у меня, пока мы ждем вопросы, вам удалось ли собрать несколько кейсов, допустим, для того, чтобы эти рекомендации обобщить, сделать их более, скажем, универсальными в каких-то там бизнес-кейсах? Там есть у вас определенное количество примеров? Помимо того, что вы сейчас нам показали, это большой расширенный пример, конечно. Или у вас, может быть, планы на то, чтобы это использовать и увидеть это в работе? Maybe you need to repeat in English. Is it good?
Yes.
My question is, do you have for those recommendations, do you have a set of business cases or case studies already accumulated experience? Not only this one specific one which you already enhanced.
Oh, yes. I have maybe 10 projects like this.
Cool. That was very interesting to see. Also, maybe you have a special table with us. Maybe you'll be able to share us in your publication, because we will have, after the conference, the ability to publish your speech or other speakers in a paper. So please, you are welcome to add this information about other cases, about other examples.
Okay. Yeah, the first case which I told you was producing sport socks for Nike. And I increased the productivity by 35%. Only with organization. And again, TRIZ was in the root of creating the solution.
We have questions. Let's see. Есть вопрос от Михаила Рубина. Я попытаюсь сразу на английском. Is there any statistics? It's also about accumulating results. Is there any statistics about the economical effect, the financial effect from the solutions which were given by TRIZ?
On my projects, I don't have this data. The company are not giving to me this data because, for example, this company with the cables, the mother company is from Germany, and in Bulgaria they're only producing products for them. They're not selling to the end customer. But for Nike, the results was around 2 2 million euro increasement in turnover. I don't know the net profit. I don't have such, but you can imagine this company was producing 1 million pairs per month, and to increase by 20% is a lot. This 35 was in the small shop floor. When they saw the results, they said, okay, now go to the big factory. And I created another project for ironing and packing, again based on TRIZ. It was great project that people from Israel came to see how this is possible. They couldn't imagine that this improvement could be done because this company was 15 years old and they did so much increasement from different consultants, and they couldn't imagine that this is possible, how to increase in the big factory the productivity by 20%.
There is, thank you, Vladi. There is a suggestion from Dmitry about your case that is a good case for creating a bank of tasks of analog with analog solutions. It means or approaches. The social systems are so in general are so similar. So such base or database could be a good framework for the artificial intelligence. So
Yeah.
that's the suggestion.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vladi, again. Thank you for joining us. And I hope this is not the last time which we are meet here. So let's keep in touch and welcome in other coming sessions tomorrow also. And after tomorrow, you know, we have a lot of events.
I will watch everything which I can. This which I can, I will watch the records.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you.
See you. Теперь мы переходим к брейку. У нас сейчас есть остановочка на 15 минут. Мы отдохнем и вернемся уже с последней порции, третьей порции докладов. У нас будет доклад от Михаила Семеновича Рубина и от доктора Фарбера из Соединенных Штатов Америки. Так что будьте с нами, пожалуйста, на перерыв. Через 15 минут возвращаемся.